One of the things that seems to have been overlooked in the midst of all the recriminations about the 3-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur at the London Stadium on Saturday evening is the fact that Jean-Clair Todibo is conspicuous by his absence. We'll get into a little bit more about that discussion. But for those of you that are watching this, please drop a like on the stream. We really want your comments as well below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you could also maybe consider sharing us on your social media platforms. All of these things help to grow the channel. They're completely free of charge. And yeah, what's not to like? So joining us here again to discuss this, Mike, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Well, a bit grumpy from yesterday, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, same, mate, same. I think the first thing, Mike, is that a lot of the talk post match is about things such as no strikers in the starting lineup, despite the fact we had two on the bench. Potter's in game management being rather suboptimal, I think is the polite way of putting it. The goalkeeper again looking like he's been bullied for his pocket money by opposition defenders, and all of these things and much more. But the thing that I really want to get into, and look, we all love a good conspiracy theory, and it might be that this is one of them, but I'm looking at the evidence in front of me, and I think something's amiss. Because here's the thing, Mike. Jean-Clair Todibo was a defender that we chased and we chased and we chased. I appreciate under a different manager. It was Julien Lopetegui that brought him in, not Graham Potter. But be that as it may, we've shelled out 35, 38 million quid for this guy. Top rated centre back, has played for Barcelona amongst other teams prior to rocking up at London Stadium. Comes with a burgeoning reputation as one of France's upcoming centre backs. He plays the first game against Sunderland. He plays the game against Chelsea. When we change formation from a back three centre backs to two centre backs, he's the collateral damage. He drops down to the bench. That's fine. No problem. But then we get to the game against Tottenham yesterday as we recalled this. And obviously in between those two matches, we sign Brighton's fifth choice centre-back, Igor. Now, when the teams were announced, Igor's on the bench. Jean-Clair Todibo, a 35, 38 million pound French superstar centre-back, is nowhere to be seen. And Mike, I have checked on the Premier League website, I have checked on the club website, I have checked on who scored. I can find no reports that Jean-Clair Todibo was injured. He was certainly available for the game. He was not suspended. Where's Toddy?
Yeah, I did think that myself, if I'm honest. But not only like you were saying, like drop down to the bench. There were three defenders in his 3-5 whatever formation when Agurd was there. Agurd's gone. He's changed formation. You would imagine, in normal circumstances, Agurd goes and he keeps his place and he plays next to Max Kilman. But he didn't. He lost his place completely. So they didn't just change formation. Lost his place completely. Mavropanos comes in. So he's lost his place there. Then the next game, Mavropanos keeps his place. And like you say, now he's not even on the bench. And we've brought in, the lad from Brighton, and he's taken his place on the bench. And even when Wan-Bissaka may be ill, maybe not ill, I don't know, and we chuck a goalkeeper on, another goalkeeper, instead of someone else. I mean, there's something going on there, and it doesn't look right to me.
Well, it makes me wonder, Mike. See, this is the thing for me. So, you referenced Wan-Bissaka. So Wan-Bissaka was announced on the substitutes bench. Wan-Bissaka, within the hour and 15 minutes between the teams being announced and the referee blowing the opening whistle, Wan-Bissaka was replaced by Fabianski. So the fact that they didn't say, "Oh, well, hang on, we've lost a defender. I'll tell you what, JC, get kitted up, get ready. You're on the bench," tells me he wasn't at London Stadium yesterday. I believe. I can't see how you lose a defender within 75 minutes of naming the squad, and you replace him because he's gone ill. And I don't know whether there's something going on there, but let's just assume that is exactly what it's purported to be, that he started chucking up. He's had a dodgy mutton vindaloo or something like that the night before, whatever. But surely you replace a defender with a defender, don't you? So if Jean-Clair Todibo was at London Stadium in his civvies, surely it would have been quite straightforward to say to him, get kitted up, get warmed up. You're going to be on the bench, and if we need you from the bench, we might not, but if we need you from the bench, we need to have you as an option. And they chose to put Fabianski in, and like I say, just I don't know. Am I putting 2 and 2 together and making 36, or I don't know.
Well, I kind of see it the same, mate. To be honest, I think. I mean, a right-sided player in the defence has gone, and the goalkeeper's coming. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know how. I would imagine that the squad goes to the games, especially at home. I'd be surprised if it's any different. And surely the kit should be there. There must be contingency plans. So if the kit's going to be anywhere, we don't play in the kit at training ground, do we? Do you know what I mean? So, the first team kit should surely be at the at the London Stadium as well. So I don't know if they have a person on standby, but what happens if what happens if someone's mucking around and they fall over and 2 people hurt themselves? What, then you go into a game with not enough subs on the bench? Don't make sense to me. So I don't know what's going on there, but it would have made sense if you've lost a right-sided defender in Wan-Bissaka who can play. He's really versatile. He can play centre back if need be. It's not ideal, but he can, or right back or right wing back. So he's a really versatile player to have on the bench. So if you're going to lose that, you want to put someone who equally could be versatile. And in fairness, Todibo comes straight into the back line as a central defender, but he could probably play on the right if need be, more than Igor, who's left-footed. So we've lost quite a bit of balance there, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
And an outdoor player.
It just, like I say, there may be nothing to this, and I might be jumping to conclusions, but just I don't know. I've never, and personally, Mike, and I don't know what you think, I've never been totally convinced by Jean-Clair Todibo. I will get that out there. I think for a player that's come in with that price tag, and I understand he doesn't set the price tag. That's between the clubs and all the rest of it. But he does come with that price tag, and with that price tag does come a level of expectation. I'm not entirely, in my opinion, convinced that he's ever lived up to that price tag. There's always been this narrative about, and I know that it was tied in apparently with an accident that he had, a car accident when he was a kid, but it takes him quite a bit of time to get up to fitness. And there's been multiple occasions when you observe him during a game where he looks like he's towing like 3 caravans. He just looks unfit. He doesn't look, and I'm wondering whether there's been possibly some conversations behind the scenes, possibly to do with what he's bringing to the party. Potter's maybe sort of had a word in his ear. He's taken it the wrong way. I don't know. I could be completely talking out of turn. There may be nothing to this, but it just, I don't know. I just think there's more to this than meets the eye. This is more than just simply a player that's just not utilised in a squad. I got a funny feeling something's going on behind the scenes with Jean-Clair Todibo and Graham Potter.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't quite add up to me. And you were saying about you didn't think he was all that a minute ago, and I agree. There's flashes. There's times when I think, oh, he's a good player, and I did quite like him, but he doesn't seem to have. He's had a full pre-season now. I mean, last season he was coming off after 70 minutes, 75 minutes, and stuff like that. For a professional athlete, yeah, all right, he might have had some issues as a youngster. But if you're going to lay out that sort of money for someone, and you know about that already, which should be disclosed, and he's got to pass a medical, something's not right there. If that is the case, why are we paying 35-40 million pound for him? And if it's not the case, then what is going on? Why can't he get up to speed? I mean, he when did he join us? He joined us in the summer, didn't he?
He
He's
did
been
summer
with us a
last.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been with us a year now. So he's had a full year of adapting to the Premier League, isn't he? And he's had a pre-season. I mean, you expect when players come from overseas and they come to the Premier League, sometimes it does take a little bit of adjustment. Not all the time, but sometimes it does, because the Premier League is it's a really fast league, and it is a difficult league. And I think, I mean, Moyes used to say it all the time, didn't they? About, oh, he needs a little while to adapt and all the rest of it. I get it to a degree. Some do, some don't. But he's had a year, so you would expect in a second season to really push on, because he knows what's expected of him. He knows what he's up against. He's played against the majority of the Premier League strikers, so he knows what's expected. Like I just said, but yeah, they don't seem quite right. I don't know what's going on there, but he's not living up to even half his potential, I don't think. I mean, to be ousted by Mavropanos, who I quite like. I mean, he's done well this season. But what did we pay? We paid like 15 million for him, didn't we? Something like that. I
Something like
appreciate, like you say, the players don't set their own fees, but it's all meant to be relative, isn't it? And we can get fees wrong, and we can get players wrong, but he was touted as, a really good up and coming centre back, and doesn't really feel like he's fulfilling even half that potential to me.
Yeah, I agree. And it would be interesting to see how this plays out. As I say, it may be that I'm jumping to a conclusion, but as I say, I don't know. This just seems reminiscent of certain situations that I've seen in the past that have turned out to be a little bit of wranglings in the background of not being something that the club would benefit from. If there is any sort of infighting behind the scenes, a sort of Potter versus Todibo dynamic, inevitably my concern is that there will be people who fall on either side of that particular confrontation if this is going on. And I don't know whether it is at the moment, but let's just suppose that it is. There will be players in that dressing room that will side with the coach. There will be players that will side with the player, and that then creates this schism in the dressing room. So it's not just about player versus manager. This could literally separate the dressing room in half.
Yeah. If you've got a rotten apple in there or something, it will soon infect the rest of the apples as well. Definitely. Yeah. Or at least some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, hopefully that this is something and nothing. Hopefully it comes out in the next day or two that Jean-Clair Todibo had a little bit of a niggle and we didn't want to risk him. That's fine. As I say, I can only deal with the information that I've got at the minute, and there's nothing out there as we record this. Just coming up to 4:00 on Sunday the 14th. There's nothing out there in any resource that I can find that says that there's any reason why Jean-Clair Todibo couldn't be at least involved in the squad yesterday. And as I say, tied in with that, the fact that we've replaced him effectively with Brighton's fifth choice centre-back that we got in on deadline day, just seems a little bit strange to me. It really does. But anyway, Mike, we'll find out in the fullness of time. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on this particular recording to give us your thoughts.
Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate
no
it.
problem. And guys, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Get your comments in the section below. Tell me if you think that there's something to it, or whether you think I'm maybe talking out of my backside. Either or, get your comments in below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep pushing the subscriber numbers up. Really does help. And as I say, it doesn't cost you anything. It takes a moment of your time, helps to grow the channel. Thanks very much for watching. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.